Today is International Human Rights Day. It's a day when we mark the concept of basic human rights for all citizens globally. These rights were hard-won and deeply cherished by all freedom-loving people. We also recognise that human rights cannot be taken for granted and need protected and sustained. Today we find these basic human rights threatened and undermined by the legacy proposals outlined in the British government's campaign paper on the 14th of July this year. The Time for Truth campaign remains committed to the implementation of the Stormont House Agreement in a human rights compliant manner. However, we are open to any proposals that will strengthen and enhance the agreement, but the basis for dealing with the past remains within the broad architecture of the Stormont House Agreement. The political compromise involving the agreement was strengthened by the public's endorsement of the 2018 in the NIO's legacy consultation. This consultation was also registered strong opposition to the introduction of any form of amnesty or statute of limitation. The British government outlined their legacy proposals in their command paper on the 14th of July this year. It outlined proposals for an unconditional amnesty for all conflict-related offences and a policy intent to close down all legal remedies. Currently, the families in their search for the truth and justice by a way of independent investigations, legacy inquests and civil actions. This is unacceptable for the Time for Truth campaign. It is clearly a breach of our human rights, especially our right of access to due legal process. We demand access to an independent investigation into the death of our loved ones. We demand the right to an Article 2 compliant inquest into the death of our loved ones. We also demand the right to lodge civil actions against the British government and their agencies in respect of the death and injury to our loved ones. It is also a breach of the British government's international human rights obligations. It will undermine the rule of law and will have consequences for public confidence in our criminal justice system and current policing arrangements rather than promote and enhance societal reconciliation. It will induce the opposite response and heighten communal tension while sowing the seeds for further discontent and alienation from the state institutions. We, the legacy families, demand that the British government withdraw from these proposals and instead prepare the implementation of the Stormont House Agreement legacy mechanisms in a human rights compliant manner. Their proposals have been condemned universally by the Irish government, all the political parties of the Isle of Ireland, all the main human rights groups and NGOs domestically and globally. Most important of all, they have been condemned by the families of victims here right across the political spectrum. The British government must listen to their voices.